Well, first of all, I think it's like taking a sort of nuclear-powered, super energy resource intensive sledgehammer to putting a picture nail up on the wall. ESG reporting is not that complicated. ESG reporting is about human behavior and how organizations are adapting the way that they do things. Now, some of that involves data and absolutely being able to track progress and changes. Really begins with what's going on up here. It really begins with us taking an approach and an attitude of saying that we need to work within our planetary constraints, and those constraints are resource constraints. And really, are we using the energy that we're creating in the most productive way? Is there something else that we could be doing that's more useful? And I look at what's going on with the indicators for planetary impacts, whether it be ocean warming temperatures, the amount of carbon dioxide, and all of them are showing exponential growth. And to quote Professor Bartlett from the 1980s, the greatest shortcoming of the human race is our inability to understand exponential growth. And at the moment, all of the changes that are happening on our planet are exponential. So I don't think we have a lot of time to be able to sit around and wait for magic solutions. Why not just get on with the job right now?
Okay, well, I certainly believe that we are very, very poor at factoring in exponential growth. I think we think arithmetically and technology changes exponentially.
Ultimately, I think in the future, I can envision where ESG reporting goes away because businesses are starting to act more responsibly and more sustainably, and it's less about reporting and more about doing. But I think the current state of the market right now, I'll go back to a point I made earlier, is when we talk about reporting, I would agree with Robin that to some extent, what you have to do as a company is clear, right? The goals are clear. I think how you achieve those goals, something like decarbonization on the environmental side, is a really big task for most companies. And in order to get there, in order to first measure your carbon footprint and then do something about it, just focusing on the environmental aspect, there's a lot of challenges. If you're manufacturing cement, for instance, it requires innovative techniques. It requires really dissecting and understanding your business processes, everything from logistics and transportation to actually manufacturing. And when you think about how someone needs to wrap their head around that and put it into an ESG report and really articulate where they are as a company, where they're going as a company, and when will they get there, I think it actually is a lot bigger task for most companies than we give it credit for. A lot of our customers, what I would say is they fall into this level of complacency because of these data challenges, right? There's not enough investment on their sustainability team. There's not the right tooling in place, and reporting becomes reporting for reporting's sake, and doing the bare minimum just to meet some compliance or just to meet a supplier or investor need. And I think AI in particular, if we can get rid of some of those challenges, specifically on the data side in the reporting piece, then we can move forward, as an organization or as industries, as a broader society, and really move towards breaking through that complacency and actually doing something about it. So I do think there is a valid need and use case for AI and ESG reporting specifically right now.
Well, I have every confidence that if we train AI the right way, it will be able to help us resolve some of the challenges that have just been highlighted. Some of it, I believe, is because we don't yet understand what we need to do. But, AI is getting incredibly good at solving different kinds of problems. And I think over time, with the right data, it will be able to help with this problem as well, with this ESG reporting. But the bigger picture of, how do we stop climate change or slow down climate change? I'm really disappointed not to see more solutions coming forward. I get really angry when I see solutions coming to market, like how to make your cat avatar a bit cuter on social media, but nothing about how to solve the world's biggest problem, which is climate change. I think we also need to get our priorities right.
So let's get this clear then. You don't think that creating a cat avatar is as big an issue as climate change?
I just think all the effort that's gone into it, could be better directed towards something.
Fair enough. Well, I have to tell you, the moment this show's finished, I'm going to be busy making myself a cat avatar. No, not really. What about the issue of unstructured data? So as I understand it, a lot of data can be in all sorts of different formats: voice messages, emails, meeting notes, PowerPoint presentations, news coverage on the internet. Isn't AI good at taking all this data and sort of creating meaningful insights to it?
Yeah, I mean, of course it can, but where's the due diligence? And how do you go about providing evidence that a conversation somewhere or an email comment was actually organizational policy? How does that link together? How does that then relate to strategy and business model definitions? What's the long-term goals of the organization and the staff member in it? I mean, there's a lot of informal, absolutely, communication and data that floats around. And some of that might not necessarily be in the organization's interest. So you can also use it, the flip side here, for filtering out information that you don't want people to know.
Okay, but isn't that kind of information quite important to get a feeling of a company's culture? You know, if and probably, and I think you would agree with this, in order for organizations to do the right things, they need to look at their culture.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily going to be the highest priority of the board of directors when it comes to reviewing the annual report. I think we need to understand that people are quite pragmatic about organizations. They do expect them to make a profit first and foremost. And impressions and marketing are just as important, if not more important, than ESG reporting right now. So, I totally agree with Sarah. It's about perspective. And what are you attempting to achieve here? And I don't think AI for AI's sake is a sufficient excuse. I think that there needs to be some very clear agenda and purpose and what it's setting out to do, and what is the benefit? Where is the cost-benefit analysis here of being able to use AI?
Yeah, I was going to say, but I think a key aspect of this is alignment. I mean, businesses are always going to focus on the top and bottom line. I think our job in the sustainability field is to show alignment, that sustainability is good business. And if we can do that, there's more funding for sustainability initiatives and really driving more responsible business practices. And I think a lot of us, especially in the sustainability community, do have that altruistic aspect where we firmly believe that sustainability is good business. So I think it's important to link those two. And as it relates to unstructured data, we're doing stuff with our AI tool right now, like being able to take the CEO's speech or recording a Zoom call and running that through AI to see if the tone and the way that someone's talking about sustainability internally matches with both their business objectives, but what their sustainability mission is what's going into their annual report, the same way that they're talking about it internally, the same way as their cybersecurity policy, the same way as kind of all this, different types of unstructured data, where it's not just everything in a spreadsheet. It's the conversations that happen in the office. It's the policy documents. It's the HR policies. It's a really comprehensive topic base.
I'm going to quote a guy called David Maister from Agility 3 and to say that technology is potentially wonderful, but there is no point in giving advanced tools to a group of people who do not have the discipline to do the basics right.
I think it can be, but it has to be designed with that objective in mind. And my hope for the future is that as AI becomes better at abstract problem solving, it might actually tell us how to train it and how to improve it to address this particular problem.
Yeah, I think whether we like it or not, AI is here and it's going to increase in the workplace exponentially. I think the risk here is that a lot of sustainability teams are underfunded already, and we don't want to be left behind. And for our customers, that means if you can't do your job, if you're a financial analyst or a business analyst and you're using AI, why not the ESG person that's doing very similar type of research and data collection tasks? So I think, it's already here. We know it's here to stay. Let's train the workforce, learn how to use it, and be effective together.